Hey guys, it's Ed again. Well, check out the instrument cluster in this old Galaxy. We had a little problem. Um, let's see if I can show you. Well, right there's part of it. Guys, can you guys see that wire right there? You see that shiny part in the middle? That is the resistor wire that runs the coil. Drops the voltage down so you don't burn up your points, and it fried. So we I was going to build a race car out of it, and everything here is all rusted up. The cables that work the heater was rusted up. Of course, the old radio is garbage. The dash needs some love because the cover was all cracked. So the idea was to build a race car, so I built that little filler plate. As you can see, we got ignition, start, and choke. And I also started building this little guy here. You guys can see, and this, once I get some more gauges, okay, I gotta use 3 hands, okay? Goes right, you kind of get the idea. Goes right up in there like so. And of course you can see the tach is in the middle, water temperature on this side, oil pressure, volts, and over at the far corner will be the fuel gauge. So I know it's a couple gauges that the race car didn't have with fuel gauge, but being that we are going to try to street drive this thing, I thought it'd be good. The other thing is the headlight switch on this. You guys can see that's the headlight switch, not that, but this has all the fuses for your brake lights, I think. Your signal lights, I know for sure. Has a bunch of fuses, so that's basically your fuse block. So I'm going to try to recycle this switch and use it over here where these holes are. See, I grabbed all this crap. Here's a piece of that wire that fried. Check that out. Is that nice? Nice and fried. So, but anyway, I'm going to build another plate. I've already got it cut, and put the headlights, the wipers, and I think I'm going to put a power, a 12-volt power supply, because then you can plug the cell phone in and the GPS, and then I don't need a speedometer because I'll know how fast I'm going. Blackout plate there, and blackout where the clock was. So they'll all have blackout plates on them. And but I just got her all wired up, and I'll show you what I did out here for a resistance. The piece of resistance is that. Yes, we've went Chrysler. This is a ballast resistor for a Chrysler, 69 Chrysler. I guess that goes good with the one-wire Chevy alternator on the other side of the old Ford. But basically, I just ran a new hot wire because that one was fried over to the ballast resistor, dropped the voltage, run the voltage down, pumped it into the coil. So we should be good. The other thing I did, because I hate this freaking choke, because it's filled my oil full of gas, because it has a tendency to not shut off when I want it to, and I left it long right now, I just tied it around, but I went with the old mechanical choke, so we won't have any of that bull crap anymore. We still got to fix that gasket. You guys can see that gasket. It's twisted. It might even be ripped. But that's got to come off. But another thing I found while I was digging for junk. It's always good to have junk, right? Look what I found. Brand new gasket. I'm not sure. I think the metal side goes towards the block. And if that's true, then I think that'll go right in there like so. It might go the other way, but I don't know if it makes a difference. I think it'll fit either which way. I think it's symmetrical. So I got a brand new gasket, just one, so we'll take it. And I got these. Check this out. didn't even know I had these. This was in a 390 set that I bought a long time ago. So here's a brand new set of intake gaskets. And so if I get real froggy, we should. Can you see that in there? You can't see it, can you? Through the glass. We can mount, put that girl on there, and take about 300 pounds of weight off this thing. The other thing I tried to do, which I have not been successful at, is I tried hooking up this hard line here. You can see it goes around. It's a piece of brake line, and I got a piece of rubber over here, and it plugs onto the vacuum side of the carburetor. And that seemed not to want to work. But then again, I may have had this distributor isn't tight. It's snug, but it's not tight, so you can move it. And it was kind of running like dog turds with that plugged in. So I'm thinking there's a leak here in this diaphragm. But you guys want to fire it up? You do? Okay. Who's going to push the button? Come on, button. Where's the button? Oh, the button's in here now. That's a good place to put a button if you're going to start your car, right? So, here's the procedure. I have had the car running, so we shouldn't have to choke it. But the choke is right here. If you needed it, pull it out. I am getting a little sticky, though. Oh, I broke it. What's going on? Why is it not working? It's been working good. Something here. Catch on a hose or something? It's kind of weird. Oh, I see. It's pulling through there. We'll have to tighten that up. It only had one screw in the kit. What do you expect? You know, Chinese kit. So anyway, choke's in now. Ignition. I'm not going to give it any gas. Flip the ignition to on. Push the button. And she fires up. I still have my nice exhaust leak, but I showed you we have a gasket to fix that. So that's sounding pretty good. Oh, the other thing I did was I changed the gas pedal thing. Technical term, pivot, I guess they call it. I got way too much junk down here. So the pivot is the right one now. Running pretty good. Adjusted the valve on one side. Probably turn the idling down just a touch more, but we have control though. We can, if she goes crazy, we can shut her down. So that's good. So get my butt out of there. So yeah, yeah, I had to do some cranking on that linkage. That linkage had I can smell rubber burning in here. That linkage had like a weird bend in it. It was bent down and it would hit against the manifold. So I basically straightened it out and then had to make my rod longer to make it reach. But according to the book, it says that rod's got to be 10 3/4 inches long, which it is now. But before it wasn't. So I think it was the wrong rod or had a different setup on it, you know. I know the whole engine set back closer because it didn't have the road draft on it. So when I put this engine in here, I had to do all kinds of crazy stuff to get this one in it, because this one is the 63 and the other one I think was a 66 motor. So anyway, guys, I'm just babbling. Running pretty fair, and we got to get that manifold gasket fixed. Figure out why that vacuum advanced. That's why it's shutting down. I'm not getting full throttle. I'm losing it about maybe a third to a half throttle, and then it starts to break up because the distributor isn't advancing it to bring the spark up to it to catch up. And it's probably something to do with that distributor. So anyway, guys, quick video. Thanks for watching, subscribing, and commenting, and we'll catch you on the next one.